What we see here is a post preview made with the theme Blocksy. So we can see it's a card view. There is a gap between these boxes. So I can pull it in a little bit. We see the gap still there. There is some padding between the text image and also the edge of the card. And there's also a thin border here, or a shadow. So the plan is now to recreate this with the query loop. So looking at this, I will then go here, testing the query loop. Adding that, we see the query loop. So here we can choose from different designs. Here's one design. We see the title in the top, featured image right here, some text, and add read more link. And also there's a HR line and the date. So these can then be changed. Clicking the grid view, I see what it looks like in that certain kind of like a grid. There's no select box here right now, so I have to go back into the carousel view and click choose. So here I want to then click the grid view. So we see it like this. These do not have then any featured image yet, so this is a placeholder. I want to change this over to a custom post called tutorial. So this now adds in the various tutorials I have made. As the featured image is not showing. Okay, there it is. So as we see, they're pretty close to each other. The columns 3, oldest to newest, that's what I want to do. I want to then latest tutorials, so I'll just add that in the top here. Latest tutorials. And center that. And we'll kind of like a violet color. Let's just go with, and there's a theme color here, so we're just gonna go with the blue here for now. So what I want to do here is create some distance, create some kind of gap between. So we're in the query loop. I'm looking at what I can do to create a gap. I'm not sure if there is a gap here yet. Here we can add a block in here. So I'll just save draft and see what we got initially. So this is then the preview. I see that I'm going to have to make this font smaller. And I'm wondering if I can get a border around here. It doesn't look like that was one of the options. So I can add a continue reading. I see there's not added in here, so I can add that in. I can also add in categories and tags. Here I believe these are categories. So there's certain things that I can do to modify it. These are really close to each other, so I'm kind of wondering how to create some margin or gap between. And also missing the border around. Not sure if I can do that currently. So I will again be sure to choose the top parent query loop, because here we can click into it. Here's the H2. I want to actually make this smaller. Here is, I don't know what this default size is. Let's put this on 20. So that looks like a better size for it, similar to what we see in background here. And let's just kind of push the date up a little bit, so we get a little bit more similar look. There is a grayed out readme, so I'll just add a continue reading. I believe there's also an arrow like so. And I will also add in categories, post categories or just categories, see what shows up. These are then post categories. They're not showing up there because these should be then categories for the tutorial. Custom post, custom, how about terms? We have term description, post categories. Not sure if the term description belongs inside query loop, because post categories has to do with the query loop, I believe, and the term description. Okay, we'll just add that in there too. I see that it's nothing showing up here. We're now in post categories and looking at what we can do here. Not sure if I can choose the tutorial categories. So we have the categories that I can filter, but that I want to do. I want to add actually in the categories here. And what I also want to do is add some kind of border. I'm not sure. I don't think we can do that yet. And padding. So from my understanding is that I'm not really fully able to actually do the things I want to do here. So because here it would be nice with a panel for dimensions, for margin, padding, and also a gap. I believe that is probably will be added. So I also need kind of like a border. I assume that will be added as well. So here I'm then missing the categories for the tutorials custom post that I've selected to use, because we have the post type here. So I expect then to be able to add in these categories that we have, even if it's at another site, I have the same categories here for the tutorial custom post. So I will save draft and do a preview to see what we have. So if we compare the visuality of these things, I assume I can probably just make this a little bit smaller, add in a spacer here. I'm missing, I can add probably a background color to it. And the query loop, background color, yes, I can add in some kind of, so that will do all of them and not do it as a cover mode. So that doesn't really help that much, because it will do all of them, and I'm not able to kind of add a margin in between. So if I could, when choosing if I want to use the Blocksy post preview right now or the query loop, yeah, and the Blocksy one really looks a lot nicer than the query loop at the current time.